Hi, it's Dr. Gibson. Welcome back. And today we'll be talking about the stubborn belly fat. For those of you who don't know me, I'm your next door internist who tries to take a holistic approach to health and wellness. This week we were supposed to talk about CBD oils, but we got a little bit sidetracked based on a special request about how to lose belly fat. Most of our previous videos were about losing weight, so I thought this was consistent with what we were talking about, so we'll go along the same lines. So let's talk a little bit about that stubborn belly fat. First of all, let's get one thing straight. There is no quick fix for this, at least if you're going the healthy route. Belly fat basically does not have a potion, a serum, any type of wrap that can just shrink it away. This annoying stubborn belly fat seems to be a part of just aging, and many people in their 40s and 50s have found that the waistline has just gotten thicker. My husband likes to call this the SpongeBob effect. So as we get older, we kind of move from having that nice shape to being just square-like. Let's understand this. This belly fat does not need to be something that we accept as a natural part of getting old. It indicates a lot of potential complications and really implies that there's metabolic inflexibility. So having this belly fat can actually put us at risk for diabetes and fatty liver disease, among other things. And belly fat in itself indicates insulin resistance, as well as imbalance of sex hormones. It's not just skin deep as well, so it's not just subcutaneous fat right under the skin. It implies that there is fat around our organs as well. Men who have a waist that's over 40 inches and women who have a waist over 35 inches actually meet one of the criteria for metabolic syndrome, which indicates insulin resistance. So this is basically a red flag to let us know that we really need to work on our health. So the question is, how do we tell our bodies to burn that fat? So if we're continuously feeding our body with alternative sources of fuel, we'll never burn that belly fat because our bodies will consistently use these simple sugars and carbs to keep our energy levels going. So it all goes back once again to sensible eating. And this doesn't have to be something that is extremely restrictive, but once it's a change from what you've been doing before, you should see some health benefits. So as mentioned before, if our bodies don't have the fuel consistently, they'll start to burn the fat. So the first step would be to cut out all those fuels that we provide to our body that's really so easy to process, and that would be your simple sugars. So all the sugar drinks and sodas and alcohol and juices, this would be the first step to cut out. So the next thing we could cut down or cut out easily would be our simple carbohydrates, such as our white bread, dumplings, white rice. These are things that really just fuel our bodies very easily. Our bodies can convert these easily from carbs to sugar for fuel, and there's no need to break down any type of fat. We can continuously fuel our bodies on these, and it's just so easy for our bodies to process. Okay, so for those of you who eat a really large amount of carbs, and you can just look at your usual plate to just analyze this. If half your plate is like rice and beans or white rice or pasta, you have a carb problem. And you can cut down on this slowly, but then the question is, what are you going to replace this with? So ideally, at least doing a ketogenic diet for about 2 weeks will give you a boost in your metabolism and really change your body into that kind of like fat breaking down machine that you want it to be to get rid of that excess fat. So what exactly does a ketogenic diet mean? So it means eating less than 5% carbs. So basically, for those of you who have a hard time calculating what carbs, the percentage of carbs in your diet, all you got to do again, look at your plate. So getting a lot of fresh vegetables is really important. Although vegetables do have carbs, guess what? They have a lot of water and a lot of fiber, so the net carbs is really low. So vegetables are always a good option. Also including healthy meats if possible. So if you have fish or fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, these are good things to integrate in the diet because you're not only getting, number one, the protein, but you're additionally getting healthy fats. So we know other meats such as chicken or pork or beef, the fats aren't as healthy as what we find in our healthy fish. But these can also be a part of your diet. You just have to be careful with the proportion of protein. We always recommend a moderate amount of protein because ultimately protein can be turned into glucose if needed if it's in excess in your diet. So here are other healthy things we can integrate quite easily. So we spoke about vegetables. So we want 7 to 10 servings of vegetables per day. So just look at the vegetables that you like and just try to integrate more of these vegetables in your diet. And also olive oil, of course, avocados, which are in abundance just about everywhere. This can be easily integrated. It has healthy oils, very filling. Also think about your olive oils, and for snacks, you instead of reaching out for that sugary snack, such as a cookie or a sandwich, you can reach out to nuts. There's been a lot of scientific evidence about nuts. Just adding nuts to your diet, which you would think, okay, you have increased calories, but actually people who have extra nuts in their diet actually have not been shown to gain weight. They actually lose weight having nuts in their diet. And these are actually filling as well. Just remember that a ketogenic diet should not be used long-term, okay? This just helps us with that metabolic flexibility so our bodies can kind of switch from using carbs for fuel to fat for fuel, and we just have better metabolic effects kind of switching up the diet every now and then. So what I would recommend is a ketogenic diet for 2 weeks, and then you go back to a healthy plate. Also having, of course, a lot of vegetables in your diet. Fruits also can be included. They do have a lot of antioxidant properties, a lot of anti-inflammatory properties, good for the gut microbiome, have polyphenols. So these are important things to integrate in your diet. Again, we want a colorful array of fruits and vegetables for maximal benefits. Once we start reintroducing our carbs, just try to focus on complex carbohydrates. So this would include stuff such as brown rice, bulgur, or whole wheat pastas, quinoa, sprouted bread. So there are a lot of other things that we can kind of include in our diet to get that complex carb so that our bodies take a longer time to process it. It kind of has to work to process it so we don't have the sugar spikes that we have with our simple carbs. Fasting is also a good idea if you're trying to lose that little bit of excess fat in your body. It also puts your body in that ketogenic state where it will burn fat instead of burning all the fuel that you're consistently providing for it. So how do we accomplish this? Again, we had previous videos talking about time-restricted eating. And just to put it simply, you can either move your breakfast time to later in the day or move your dinner time to earlier in the day. It depends on what fits your lifestyle. For most people, it's easier to do this with breakfast simply because a lot of times the nighttime meal is shared with our families just because of how we work and how late we work in the day. Of course, if you're able to do this with dinner, it would be ideal because this offers the best metabolic benefits. And remember, we want to get that eating period cut down to about 10 hours. And if you can achieve 8 hours, that would be ideal. So let's talk about a few tricks that we can use to boost our metabolism. So lemon juice is a good detoxifying agent and also is able to boost your metabolism. You can just cut half a lemon, squeeze it in some warm water in the morning and drink it. Of course, if you add sugar to this kind of just takes away from the whole benefit and also can interfere with your time-restricted eating. So it's not recommended that you add sugar or honey to this. It also suppresses your appetite to some degree. So it's also helpful for you to cut back on your calories for the day. If you don't have lemons, of course, you can use lime. This is also a good alternative. Another alternative would be using apple cider vinegar. Just use 1 to 2 tablespoons in a cup of warm water and drink it as a tea. Again, please don't add any sugar or honey to this. And also realize that apple cider vinegar has probiotics that are good for your gut bacteria. If you are a tea drinker, substituting green tea is also good for its benefits on increasing your metabolism. So if you drink tea 2 to 3 times per day, you can just switch this up to green tea. And if you're a coffee drinker, remember, if you're drinking your coffee in the mornings, try to have it black. And you can add a little bit of cinnamon to this, which also has cinnamaldehyde, which helps to boost your metabolism and also gives the coffee a little bit of a sweetish taste. Curry leaves is also something that you can make into a tea. You can take 10 curry leaves and just simmer it in some hot water and strain it off and use it as a tea, and that also has benefits in terms of increasing your metabolism. Strength training is probably one of the most important parts of your exercise routine, and this helps to build muscle and of course gives our bodies better tone, and it also helps our metabolism, helps to burn fat and glucose, so it's a really important part of our exercise routine. High intensity interval training is also a good exercise routine to add. This allows for us to boost our metabolism and increase growth hormone, which also helps to reduce visceral fat, that is, fat around the organs. So remember, reducing belly fat is just a part of an overall healthy routine to reduce total body fat. We know that belly fat has serious health implications. So if you do find you're building up fat around your waistline, it's telling you that you really have to make changes to your lifestyle to try to facilitate weight loss and a healthy metabolism. Once again, I'm Dr. Gibson. Thank you for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe below if you'd like to see future videos. Next week, finally, we'll be talking about CBD. Until next time, bye.